All right, here he is.
Yo, yo, yo.
Yo,
What up, though?
what's really good?
Honey Black Man?
Thank you so much for the time. I really appreciate it.
Yes, sir.
Let's dig into this because we all know and love you as an MC. So let's talk about hip hop. Talk about hip hop. What do you love about rhyming?
For me, it's therapeutical. I always been a visionary. So as I go through things, trying to get to my goals, I had a lot of setbacks and things happen that you have to use your mind to navigate it. And I got infatuated with adversity because it's just like you really could go through that. And I just started putting it in the music because I used to write things down or write things that I felt, and I was able to put words together, and I can feel and see what I'm saying better when I write it out. And I grew up loving music, so Tupac and all these different cats, and I just fell in love with, you could tell that he was um, a revolutionary just by what he spoke about. So I always like, if I had a chance to do my thing, like what it would it be about? And I stumbled upon the whole thug motivation thing because I just would notice when I would talk to older people, they would ask me questions. I already had an answer, and I was confident about it, and that made them take to me a little bit more. And when I started doing music, people would be like, "Yo, your confidence, what you're saying, I feel you. I'm from where you from." And I just fell in love with that, just that connection. And it was just like it's a real thing. And I just never strayed away from that. So it wasn't about selling records. It was more about connecting with people and just being in the hearts of women, men, and children. And I fell in love with that. You know what I mean? Because it's the whole thing. It's how I'm packaged. It's how I talk. It's what I say. It's what I wear. You know what I'm saying? It's just like all those different things together. That's what makes me special. And the fact that I can pull from my struggle and relate to theirs. That's what I love about hip hop. Like I love that it's it's a us thing. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? Even from
yeah.
where we're from, you might not get it. You know what I'm saying? I love it.
You said something really interesting. You said that you're infatuated with adversity.
Yeah,
I think most people like don't want adversity. We have goals. You just want to get there. I don't want
right.
traffic and hurdles in the way. What do you
Right.
mean by infatuated with adversity?
Because the people that you normally hear about that that make it, they went through the worst and they just never gave up. Because that's the game. You just can't quit. No matter what it is, you can't quit. You got to just do something else. And it really dawned on me, like, because what infatuated me about it, and we'll talk about my show later, a little bit later, and why I went that route with the talk show, is because when I'm hearing these things, I'm like, damn, like, what would you thinking when you're going through these things? And it's just like, if you hear anybody that is successful in their own right, they came from some type of pain, it came from some type of struggle, and it came from having their back against the wall and them doing something that they never did to become somebody who they've never been. And if you really like listen to immigrant stories, you know what I'm saying? Because I'm very well traveled and open minded. You hear these things like it's just like I came to this country and I ain't have 2 cents. I knew no one, and now I own 30 restaurants. Like how the hell did you do that?
Yeah,
And,
yeah,
I came here and and I didn't have anything, and now you just set up so well, and you come here and it's like America's like the home of the free, and anything can happen in America, but these are the people that go through the most turmoil. And even the people that were born and raised here and they're the true Americans, especially like myself and people that look like me that get out of the slums and figure it out. It's like if you really sat down and talked to them about some of the things they went through, you wouldn't believe it. Because I know a
well,
lot of
can you
huh?
let's talk about some of the things that you've been through because it
Right.
was single parent coming up in Atlanta, right? Not much
Well,
money,
not
going through it. What did, and now look at you, right?
right,
American dream. How
right.
did you get from the kid who just you and your mom, really nothing's going on, no, not much money? How'd you get from that to just even being an MC?
I tell people all the time, and I think that they don't really get because I'm not that great. Like it's not me. It's the gift. I knew at a young age like that when I was in my mom's house. I helped my mom get her first home. It was a my father and my mom divorced. We got our first home. It was a $3,500 trailer. It wasn't big enough to think. You know what I'm saying? If the wind blew, it was 10. I don't know if you know about like the 10, like 10 foil, but it's like 10. And when the wind blow, you hear it. And I bought my mom that trailer, and she called it home, and she was cool with it, and she was so happy. And I'm just like, wow, like this ain't it. And I was already on a mission in my mind in like elementary and middle school on how to do better and how to make myself better. Like that was my whole thing in life. As far as I can remember, I had this burning sensation in my stomach on like, how can I be better? How can I learn more? And even at a young age, I didn't like to have conversations with people unless I can take something away from the conversation. Because other than that, like we just talking. And I just set out on a path, and I told myself, you know, no matter what the circumstances, no matter what the consequences, I'm gonna do what I got to do to get my mom out of this situation and to put myself in a better situation and the people around me, including my sister, because I ended up putting her through college, and I didn't get a chance to go to college or school because I was hustling to put her through college.
When did you
So
start hustling? When did you start in the street?
maybe around 11 was when I really, I was dibbling and dabbling, little small things here and there from my cousins and uncles, but I didn't really get full fledged in until I was about 11. And I told myself when I jumped off the porch, I was like, there ain't but one rule. You can do this, but you gotta be smart. You gotta know you gotta have an end goal, and you cannot get caught. That's it. So you have to use what you've been given, which is your sense. And I have great judge of character when it comes to people, and I have great skills when it comes to visualizing things and how it should playing out. So meaning like I know in my mind, if you tell me tomorrow we're going to Belize to do something, I'm gonna already see in my mind what can be done while we there and what there and who's your teeth. It's like a whole, it's like a whole thing with me. And then I go, okay, cool, I got it. All right, it's cool. We do want to believe. So I know what to do if something go left or if it go right. But that's a gift I have. It's really a gift. So for me, um, to answer your question, like it was understanding, when I got in the streets, you know, not to get caught up and to make the best out of it. And here we go again, full circle. The music was what was giving me the knowledge that I didn't have because I didn't know what not to do and how to do it. And you know what I'm saying? So I'm just listening to what Master P saying. I'm listening like, okay, that makes sense. I'm listening to what Tupac saying. So I'm just getting all this information. And when I'm sitting down talking to people, they're like, damn, like you smart. And I'm like, I like that. You know what I mean? So I listened to more. And then I started asking adults real questions and asking my cousins that was older than me and that was really doing it real questions. Like,
When did you start saying, okay, I'm heavy in this,
right,
but I might need to do something else because that game you knew from the beginning
right,
this game you don't retire from that game.
right. No, I'm gonna be honest. Like that's a whole nother conversation. I had so many close calls, like it was even real, and I realized, like, and I mean like real ones. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I realized that it was something different because I was watching, people around me get indicted, and I'm talking about like you talking about 120 people at one time that I was running with every day get indicted, and the only thing that saved me was the fact that I was in the studio most of the time. You're talking about situations where things happened that I was just 5 minutes I left right before it was raided, or it was so many different things, and I'm just sitting there one day and I'm like, God, he's taking me out of these situations because he has a bigger plan for me. Because it wasn't nothing that I was doing that was so savvy or so smart. It was just more so like that ain't for you. But I'm like, how do I still be who I am and do something that I can do because I got a sixth grade education at the time. You know, I got my GED when I was locked up. So how can I do something that I can do and be successful that's not going to take me away from who I am because this is all I know. And the more things that started happening, I was like, yo, I'm just start putting my money in music. And I started off as a CEO. So I went and bought all this studio equipment, went and signed some homies in the hood. And I was sitting in the studio with them every day trying to help them come up with records, but they was gang banging and going through all this shit. One of them got killed. The other one ended up killing somebody. He's still in prison now. And the other one just was like, the hell with it. And I'm sitting there and all my money's tied up in the studio. And one of my homeboys look at me, is like, well, your life's the one that's real. Why don't you do it? And I'm just like, you know what? I know I'm gonna give it my all. I think I'm gonna try for it. And I just started, going in the studio, trying to make records. And it was hard because I'm not a musically inclined person to whereas I can go in there and know what a song format is. I don't know, you know what I mean? Like, so I just trial and error and trial and error and trial and error. But what I did know is that I was solid. So if I figured it out, then once I got the music to a place where it was like cool, then I started using my hustling skills. Like, okay, what do I do if I want people to buy into what I'm doing?